So this is basically the time of the year where a lot of sports fans get ready to wrap up summer vacation. They had like the whole month of, or maybe like the end of May, starting from Memorial Day through July 4th. And after July 4th, that's usually when summer vacation ends in America for my non-American subscribers who are unaware. This is usually the time of the year where summer vacations, they're in the process of wrapping up. Summer vacation is not over yet, but they're in the process of wrapping things up. They go to the final resort for the last time of the year, or final road trip for the year in preparation for the fall. So with that being said, this is also the time where we're a few weeks away from NFL preseason. Actually, not really a few weeks, because let me be honest with you. NFL preseason does not start in the first week of August. It does not start during the Hall of Fame game. NFL preseason starts during minicamp. When minicamp starts, that's when preseason starts. Because minicamp will determine who gets playing time in the preseason for those who are trying to make the team. So the reason why I'm bringing up NFL preseason and all these summer vacation ending, the reason why I'm bringing this up, because I'm basically telling you, MLS, USL, NWSL, your window of winning fans will close next week, because NFL minicamp starts next week and people's attention is going to drastically shift to NFL news. So I'm telling you right now, the earliest NFL minicamp is the Raiders, the veterans. The veterans report next week for the Raiders on the 20th, I believe. And rookie minicamp starts this weekend for a few teams. So MLS, USL, NWSL, your window of winning fans is getting ready to close. So that's why I just wanted to bring that up. So speaking of the NFL, we have an NFL / MLS owner in Arthur Blake, whose club is in danger of being relegated. Now, if you're a European fanboy, you may be thinking, wait a minute, MLS does not have a pro rail. Well, let me explain to you, European fanboy, about relegation in the MLS. You see, relegation in the MLS happens to those teams who does not make the playoff. If your team does not make the MLS playoff, you are relegated. How? You're relegated by losing investments. You're relegated by losing fan support. You're relegated by having less media coverage. And you're relegated by losing season ticket holders. I repeat, to European fanboys and those sports fans who's not really into soccer, but you just need some kind of sport to watch before the Hall of Fame game, the NFL Hall of Fame game starts in August 4th. So you're just going to use these last 2 weeks of July to watch the MLS just so you won't be bored. Let me explain to you what is MLS relegation. MLS relegation are for teams who do not make the MLS playoffs, the MLS Cup playoffs. And this is how these teams are relegation. These are the effects of the MLS relegation. They lose investment. That's number one. Number two, they lose fan support. Number three, less media coverage. Number four, they lose season ticket holders. So next season, Atlanta United will not lead the league in fan attendance. As a matter of fact, people are so frustrated with Arthur Blake and how he does business with both of his sports teams. Atlanta United will be at the bottom of the league in fan attendance next season. And I am willing to put money on that. So with that being said, Mr. Blake, Mr. Home Depot, let me explain to you. You are in danger of making the same mistakes that you did with the Falcons with this Atlanta United team. You see, Mr. Blake, for some reason, your two teams, Falcons and Atlanta United, it's like they're always dealing with some kind of injury issue. Like, it's always seemed like there's a key player. It always seems like there's one or two key players that are injured on your teams. And here's another thing, Mr. Home Depot. You are dealing with fans that make a sacrifice to attend your games. Now, how is it a sacrifice? Well, a lot of Atlanta sports fans do not reside in the city of Atlanta. They more so reside in the surrounding suburbs of Atlanta. Your DeKalb counties, your Gwinnett County, Hall County, Clayton County, Cobb County, Forsyth County, Henry County, Coweta County. These are the counties that Atlanta sports fans live. And because of the bad traffic in the city, and because of the poor mass transit, the poor public bus shuttle system in the city, fans have, like, traveling to an Atlanta sports game is like traveling out of state. Traveling to an Atlanta sports game is like you're traveling on like you're going on a long road trip. It's just a long road trip. And you gotta spend money on gas, you gotta buy food, and you gotta deal with road rage, and it's just a lot of stress for Atlanta sports fans to even get to the game. Before they even get to the game, they're already stressed out. So when they finally make it to the house that Mr. Home Depot built, I don't understand why they didn't name it Home Depot Stadium. That should be the real name of the stadium, because it's the house that Mr. Home Depot built. So when they finally get to Home Depot Stadium, they're already frustrated. They're already exhausted. And they're just thanking the highway gods that they made it there safe. So when they see you play in your stadium, Mr. Home Depot, and your team is not performing well, it's like a waste. It's like all that sacrifice for nothing. I had to spend all this money on gas. I had to travel the long road trip, trying to dodge road rage, and people not driving the speed limit, and people just throwing their middle fingers at you and cutting in front of you. I had to deal with all of that just to come to Mr. Home Depot Stadium and see the team perform badly? I'm not making a sacrifice to watch this team play ever again. That is the mindset of Atlanta sports fans. And this is why Atlanta sports fans easily neglects their team when they're not performing well. Because they live in the suburbs, and because traveling to downtown Atlanta is like a long voyage, It's just not the sacrifice. It's not worth the sacrifice if they continue to lose. And here's another aspect, Mr. Home Depot. Atlanta fans don't trust you. The reason why Atlanta sports fans don't trust you, Mr. Home Depot, is based on your track record with the Falcons. Mr. Home Depot, you had in your history, you had 2 franchise quarterbacks. And with those 2 franchise quarterbacks, you were never able to win a Super Bowl. Not even one. The only reason why you made it to that one Super Bowl that one year, Mr. Home Depot, was because of Kyle Shanahan. And then once Kyle saw that you, Mr. Home Depot, wasn't serious about winning championships, he got himself out of town real quick. Mr. Home Depot. Another reason why Atlanta fans don't trust you is because you don't hire good coaches, Mr. Home Depot. Let's not even get started on that year you hired Bobby Petrino, Mr. Home Depot. You see, I know this is a monologue about Atlanta United, but Mr. Home Depot, you are an NFL/MLS owner. So we can't only judge you based on how your soccer team is performing. We can't only judge you based on how you do business with your soccer team. We have to combine your business, your history, your NFL history with your MLS history and combine it together. This is why, Mr. Home Depot, I'm bringing up your Falcons history. Because when people see you, Mr. Home Depot, they think about your Atlanta Falcons history. So, Mr. Home Depot, you are in danger of losing Atlanta United fans. If you become relegated, you will lose a lot of money. Another thing that Atlanta United fans are complaining about, they don't like the games being played in your house, Mr. Home Depot. Mr. Home Depot, they're saying that they want to go back to Georgia Tech. They believe that because the players are playing in the fake grass that you provided for your NFL and MLS team is the reason why a lot of the players are getting injured, Mr. Home Depot. So, Mr. Home Depot, is there a way where you can renovate the stadium to make it similar to the dome in Glendale, Arizona? Because in Glendale, Arizona, they got a retractable grass where when the game is not being played, the grass stays outside. It's like a stage. And then when it's time for the game to be played, the remote control stage is brought inside the stadium. The remote control grass stage is brought inside the stadium. And then once the game is done, the remote control grass stadium goes right back outside of the stadium, Mr. Home Depot. Is that something that you can consider doing? I mean, you are hosting the World Cup. I'm sure you're going to need natural grass. But that's just something to think about, Mr. Home Depot. Oh, Mr. Home Depot, I'm not done talking about you, but I reached my time limit in this monologue. I don't want to go over 15 minutes. So, Mr. Home Depot, you got to be very careful. Oh yeah, and lastly, Mr. Home Depot, why we don't see you standing on the sidelines at Atlanta United matches? We always see you standing on the sideline at the Atlanta Falcons game. Why we don't see you standing on the sideline for Atlanta United matches? Are you afraid of the Atlanta United fans? Mr. Home Depot, we need you to show your face at the Atlanta United matches the same way you show your face at the Atlanta Falcons games.
Life moves fast when you're after a task, and there's cries and there's laughs and there's harmony glass. There's spills and refills and they all seem to clash. The future is past and there's harmony glass. Life moves fast when you're after a task, and there's cries and there's laughs and there's harmony glass. There's spills and refills and they all seem to clash. The future is past and there's harmony glass.